Previously on the Dropout, the SEC charged Elizabeth Holmes and Sunny Balwani with running an elaborate years-long fraud.
A multi-million-dollar scheme to defraud investors, doctors, and patients.
Exaggerated or made false statements about the company's technology, business, and financial performance.
That Elizabeth Holmes is stepping down as the chief executive officer.
A quiet loner with some amusing quirks. A detached young woman. But not, Megan says, the woman we've known her to become today.
It's a very big shock to the St. John's community and big sadness in our hearts that this is how it all played out. She may have been smart enough to conceal a lot of these tendencies in high school that I didn't see, or that her parents didn't see, or the school didn't see. It just doesn't add up.
So how could a dramatic shift like this happen? I asked clinical and performance psychologist Dr. Jonathan Fader.
She was described to us as someone who is nice and ethical. Does life and life experience potentially change our wirings? Does it change who we are?
This is $1 million question, really. And, I can't speak to any particular person without meeting them, but what I can say is that most people think that it's really a combination of our wiring and then what we're exposed to.
Dr. Fader coaches CEOs and high flyers in the financial services industry, kind of like a real-life Wendy Rhodes from the show Billions.
I want you to just commit that you're in it for the long haul, that you will succeed.
Her character treats hedge fund bigwigs, helping them to basically get over themselves.
You are a winner. You're in the special forces here.
Dr. Fader says when we fall into stressful situations, it's possible we do out-of-character things.
It's not impossible that, in my mind, any of us, when exposed to certain situations, could make poor choices.
But for the most part, we are who we are.
I'd say it's unlikely that someone who doesn't have the wiring to do it at all would make those poor choices, but I'm sure it is possible.
And when it comes to leaders, some of the same traits that make them successful also make them more susceptible to crossing the line.
They tend to be, in some way, somewhat narcissistic. An excellent leader is someone who's able to really have a high level of self-confidence. There is a very thin line between self-confidence and arrogance, but it's a fine line. And it's a fine line for being able to ignore things that are important to other people, like feelings or consequences, and doing it so much that you're putting yourself or other people at risk.
Does success at a young age change how people are as leaders?
I think that success generally breeds confidence. Sometimes, though, what I find is that, if someone has a tremendous amount of success, they don't proceed in a natural progression through developing the other leader skills that they would need, like empathy, social skills, motivation, the ability to be self-aware and self-regulate. Whereas if someone experiences more gradual success, they have more time to develop alongside with their career trajectory these other social skills and self-awareness that can protect them against really complicated and potentially dangerous decision-making.
Childhood friend Megan Long says it's still difficult to make sense of it all.